Hello, 大家好, I'm Grace. No matter whether you're a beginner or you have been learning Chinese for a while, this video will give you linguistic insights into the Chinese grammar system that are going to help you start thinking in Chinese and forming sentences like a native speaker. I've prepared a free PDF for you to take study notes. You can find it in the description below. If you find today's video and the PDF helpful and would like to support me in creating more content, please visit my Ko-fi page. The link is also in the description. I really appreciate every bit of support and feedback from you. Alright, 那话不多说，我们现在开始吧。The basic word order for Chinese is SVO, subject, verb, object, just like in English. For example, 我喜欢你 I like you. This is a simple sentence. If you want to add more information to the sentence, there is one thing you need to keep in mind. Chinese is a left-branching language, which means that the most important elements like the noun, verb, or main clause come at the end, and the other elements used to modify them branch off on their left. In other words, we talk about details first before telling you what we are describing. The modifiers include adjectives, adverbs, prepositional phrases, relative clauses, and dependent clauses. Let's see some examples. 可爱的小狗，可爱的小狗，非常喜欢，非常喜欢。在家看电视，在家看电视。昨天来的那个人，昨天来的那个人，因为明天要考试，所以我不能跟你们去。因为明天要考试，所以我不能跟你们去。Now let's see how to apply them in a sentence. Here are the basic and most important elements. 我看见了老师，我看见了老师 I saw teacher. Here are some details I'd like to add to the sentence. 昨天 yesterday. 之前教过我中文的 Who has taught me Chinese before? You can pause the video and think about where to put these details according to the left branching rule. Details are on the left, which is in front of the important elements. Okay, here is the answer. 我昨天看见了之前教过我中文的老师。我昨天看见了之前教过我中文的老师。The time is for telling when the action happens, so we put this detail before the main verb. However, it can also be placed at the beginning of the sentence to express when the whole event happens. And the relative clause 之前教过我中文的 Who has taught me Chinese before is the detail for the object 老师 teacher, so we put it before 老师. In English, where to put these details is basically the opposite of that in Chinese. So if you're a native English speaker, it takes some practice to get used to the new word order. So now you know that in Chinese, we like to let you know the details first. But sometimes those details are the main point we want to talk about, so they appear at the end of the sentence. For example, if I want to say this book is thick, the adjective thick is the point I want to express. So in Chinese, we say 这本书很厚. 很厚 appears at the end because it's the point of the sentence. So we have other common sentence structures to emphasize different information. The first one is the one we talked about. Subject plus degree adverb plus state verb. Subject, degree adverb, state verb. Like 我爸爸很高. 我爸爸很高. About Chinese adjectives, you need to know that they are different from English ones. Many of them can act like a verb, so they are called state verbs. When using them, you don't have to add another verb in the sentence. So to say she is beautiful, we wouldn't say 她是美丽 because 美丽 can act like a verb. It means to be beautiful by itself. So the sentence wouldn't be correct if you add another 是. However, even though you don't have to add another verb, when using Chinese adjectives in this sentence structure, we need to know the degree of the adjective. For example, if it's just one complete sentence, you can't just say 她美丽 because we want to know how beautiful she is. Is she very beautiful? Quite beautiful, or even not beautiful. In Chinese, we like to know the degree. And a common way to show the degree is to add an adverb. You can say 她很美丽, she is very beautiful, or use an adjective of negation and say 她不美丽, she is not beautiful. Other examples like 她非常高, 她非常高, he is very tall. 今天有点冷, 今天有点冷, today is a bit cold. Other than using degree adverbs, you can also use comparisons to show the degree. 她比我高，她比我高。She's taller than me. The second sentence structure is subject plus noun. Subject, noun. For example, 今天星期六，今天星期六。Today is Saturday. 现在3点，现在3点。It's 3 o'clock now. 我妹妹13岁，我妹妹13岁。My sister is 13 years old. The final one is subject plus verb plus complement. Subject, verb, complement. The complement is used to add more information to the verb. If the information is the point we want to express or the results of the action, then we will use this structure. For example, if a teacher asks you whether you can see the blackboard clearly, you can reply 我看不清楚，我看不清楚 I can't see it clearly. Or 不清楚，不清楚 not clearly. We use this sentence structure because 不清楚, not clearly, is the result of the action and it's also the main point you want to express. So you can even drop part of the sentence and just say 不清楚. Another example, if someone asks you, how long have you been learning Chinese? 你学中文学了多久? The main point the person is asking is the time span, so we put it at the end of the sentence. 我学中文学了2年。我学中文学了2年。I've learned Chinese for 2 years. You can even drop most of it and just say the most important part. 2年 2 years. Other examples like 他走很快，他走很快 He walks fast. 我吃东西吃得很慢，我吃东西吃得很慢。I eat slowly. Okay, after learning these concepts, let's do a quick recap. To make sentences in Chinese, remember that Chinese is a left-branching language, which means that we talk about details first before telling you what we are describing. So we put modifiers before the thing we are describing. However, to emphasize all the details, we have other common structures. We use these structures because the adjectives, the nouns, and the complements are the main points that we want to express here. If you're interested in learning more about Chinese grammar, I'd like to introduce you to my friend Shuo's online mini course, Structure Review Plan. For those of you who aren't familiar with Shuo, she's the host of the channel Shuo Chinese. I love her videos not only because they're so fun to watch, but also I'm fascinated on how she can use simple words to explain complicated grammar, and how she shows the inner logic of the Chinese language. So I'm very happy to see her launch her first online course, which will definitely help students learn faster. It's a PDF mini course designed for upper beginners or intermediate level students to revisit Chinese sentence structures. This course includes 18 grammar structures, which are all you need to build a clear understanding of the Chinese language system. Spend 2 to 4 weeks studying this course and you will find yourself starting to think in Chinese. So make sure you check the link in the description below to see more information about this course. And don't forget to to apply my unique code GRACE20 to get a 20% discount today. Alright, that's all for today. 如果你喜欢今天的影片，记得帮我按赞、订阅和分享哦。And also, if you want to learn some daily Mandarin expressions, check out my Instagram, Grace Mandarin. 那我们就下次见喽，拜拜。